Okay, we're going to have a little bit of fun with Photoshop right now. I'm assuming that if you're looking at this, you're familiar with how Photoshop runs. You might not be all that good at it, but you're familiar with all the different tools. And but when you go through the menu and you see all the different options and things, it might be a little bit bewildering to you. It's kind of the way it is with me. I'm not a professional photographer or anything like that, but over the years, just by playing around with it, I've discovered a little bag of tricks that enabled me to just do a lot of fun little things with it that I wanted to do. So just in about 10 minutes, I'm going to show you how to do something real easy. Just take a picture of you or somebody else and to stick it on top of another photo that's pre-existing and kind of blend it in to make it look relatively realistic. Okay, first thing we're going to do, I'll come up here and open up an image. And I've chosen this one. This is one of the first things I actually did. And I don't think I ever watched a YouTube video or anything. This one I just kind of figured out. I knew how to do this, but other times I just wanted to do something and I looked up a tutorial online or watched a YouTube video, and just by following the directions I figured out how to use certain different tools and settings and things like that. But this is a real easy one, and this gives you kind of the basic tools. So this is a picture from the movie The Shining. The gentleman in the middle here is Jack Nicholson. And you don't have to be familiar with the movie at all, but it's just kind of an iconic piece from that particular movie. And it's a famous movie, Stanley Kubrick's masterpiece of Stephen King's masterpiece. So I just kind of decided one day I was going to stick my face on one of the people in the crowd and see if anybody notices, put it on my Facebook page. So first thing I did was just Googled Overlook Hotel photo, and this popped out. So I just stole it. Now I'm going to open up another photo of this one's of me, and here I just simply took a black terry cloth towel and hung it up, and then put a DSLR on a tripod and just took my own photo with a timer, and that's it. But for this sort of thing, you can use any kind of photo that somebody takes of you, as long as it's got a clear and pretty good resolution and good light and everything. Any real decent photo can use. If it's blurry, and it's not going to work all that well. But so what we'll do is we'll cut my head off, and here I can use this rectangular select tool, and I can just cut it off like that, or I can use the balloon tool and cut it a little closer. And we don't need to get it exact. It's no big deal. We'll do that. Worry about that later. So now I will cut it. I'll just copy it. And then I can just close the file. I don't need it anymore. I've got a copy of the head on my clipboard, and so now I just go to this photo and I'm going to paste it in. Paste. And there it is. Now you can see it's way big, because the photo that I took this from is much higher resolution than the photo that I grabbed off the web. And that's fine, as long as you have a high resolution photo. You can drop the resolution down and make it fit in. What you don't want to do is to take a low resolution photo and then try to stick it on a high resolution photo, because then it's going to look fake. But so what I'll do is I'll scale it now, because it can't even fit on the original photo. So go to edit, and you can do transform and scale, or I just do free transform, and you kind of move it down. There are these little handles that appear at the edges, and I hit shift button and then drag it down. Now I just move the whole thing back up. It's still pretty large, it won't fit on the screen, and I drag it down again, repeat the process. I just keep scaling it down and make it smaller and smaller and smaller until it starts to fit on the screen. Alright, I'm still going to leave it pretty large. So what I'm going to do now, apply that. I'm going to take the eraser, and I'm going to start getting rid of all of the excess stuff here, the black on the background that I don't want. Well, first I think maybe I'll just take this rectangular tool, and you just hit delete, and that's all gone. That's all gone. That's all gone. So again, just take the deselect that. Use the eraser tool. I think I'll zoom in on what I'm trying to erase. Okay, back to the eraser. Something large enough to get the job done. Hardness, you should go to about 50%. If it's like 100% hardness, it'll be just like an eraser, and this will just come right off. But it'll leave kind of a hard edge. If you go down to 0% hardness, and then you don't even have to, it'll take much of a softer edge off. 50% would be kind of in the middle. Maybe I'll just do the 100% at this point and just do it like that. Alright. And then you hit the space bar, and you can, turns into a little hand, and you can move the image around. So I just go around. Do the same thing over on this side. And that'll give me a nice clean headshot of myself here. These stray hairs, I don't care if they get erased. Clean that up. Okay, I'm going to zoom out again. And because now I'm going to need to move the whole thing up. Get this little bit on the end here. Zoom back in. Because I don't want the collar of my shirt, I don't want my neck, I just want my head floating. And off all that goes. You want to do that when the image is still pretty much blown up, so that when you then reduce it, it'll be a much cleaner image. Alright. Once again, I'll take my head, free transform, and start to scale it down. Alright, I'm going to leave it right about there for now. Apply that. I'm going to zoom in on here. I'm going to find somebody that I want to, whose head I want to put over, or apply it over it. I got one ear showing. I'm kind of like looking this way, so I'll find somebody. Now everybody's kind of looking the other way. I guess I could do this guy over here, but he has two ears. This guy is kind of the same way I am. He's just, his image, he's looking the other way. And that's no problem. What I'll do is just take the image, go to transform, and flip horizontal. Boom. So now we're both facing in the right direction. I'm looking at the camera the same way he would be. Of course, problem here is that my head is freaky big compared to his. So I have to scale it down. Of course, the other problem is that I'm in color, he's not. We'll deal with that afterwards too. I come over here to these layers. Notice the background is the picture I had, and it's got a little lock on it. You can't mess with that. So what you normally want to do, if you want to do anything to the other background, is you just make a copy of it. So you right-click, duplicate layer, and okay, now you get a copy of that. These little eyes here means that it's visible. You click it off, and it's not visible. So layer 1 is just my head. And as long as you have one copy there, you don't have to click. You don't have to be watching both, because they layer themselves on top of each other. All right, now the other trick I'm going to do here is, where is it? Up here, opacity. I'm in, back to my layer with my head. I'm going to take the opacity and I'm going to drop it down to like 70%. Now I'm kind of like a ghost. I can move around and you can see the picture behind me. So that's what I'm going to use to kind of gauge where I want to be. So again, I will free transform that. I'm going to zoom it down. Move it over here. Still my head's too large, so down, down, down. Now I'm approaching the same proportions of this guy. So I can just lay him on top there. Maybe even a bit smaller. Alright, that's good. Apply that. Now I'll drop the opacity back up to 100%, and there I am. So what I'll do now, I'm still on that layer, I'll go up here to Image, down to Adjustments, and I will go to Hue and Saturation, and I will drop the saturation down to 0, which basically takes all of the color out. If I zoom it up, then you get that kind of freaky yellow all the way down, and there's no color whatsoever. Okay, so I'll just hit OK. But now you can see these folks are kind of pasty and bleached out, but I'm kind of this grayscale. So what I'll do is, again, go up to Image and Adjustments, and I'll go and look at Brightness and Contrast. Here I'll just bump up the contrast, and I go more to kind of flat black and white rather than a lot of the grays in between. And you can mess with the brightness, make it brighter, make it darker. Of course, that doesn't work here, so maybe if I actually bump it up, bump up the brightness a little bit. Maybe like +10, +11. Okay. So now I zoom out, and we've been at it about 10 minutes or so. And there you have it. It tends to blend in pretty well. I mean, you look at it, it's clear that there's something wrong there. It draws your eye to it. If it was perfect and it fit right in, then you'd probably just look at Jack Nicholson. You wouldn't bother looking at the crowd. But there's something, and of course I picked some guy who's just right over his shoulder, so that way your eye's drawn to the minute imperfection. But it's a good effort to kind of inject yourself into a famous photo. Haha, little joke. There's some Photoshop fun. So now you've got a basic idea of how you resize things, and you flip them, and you can mess with the color settings and whatnot, and just using those tools itself, you can do a lot of different things and have some fun.